Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode with Dave the Dog on Cyberpunk and a Porsche that's not looking quite so right. Or maybe this is the car customization of the future. Possibly. I think it's more glitchy and broken, to be honest with you. It looks like a bad mod-in beam that's gone through one too many crashes and everything's spiked out. I don't know. I don't know on that one, but there we go. Ewan is up next on Just Cause 4 and has noticed a helicopter doing something very strange. So from up top, wherever the hell this is, as Watchdog can see, a helicopter is kind of cruising along a little bit. It's not really behaving in a normal manner as you would expect a helicopter, and naturally, this being Just Cause 4 where weird things happen, you go and investigate what is going on with said helicopter. It gets weirder. Not only is the helicopter behaving strangely, the helicopter doesn't have a pilot. Well, I mean, that's probably why it's behaving strangely, to be honest. It's just... I don't know what's caused it to do this, whether it started to take off the some AI in it jumped out and somehow left the chopper on or something, or I don't know. It spawned and managed to get itself turned on. The most amazing thing about it is it managed to hover its way down here and not have a crash. You can actually interact with it, and sure enough, we give it a boop, and then things go a lot worse for then. It was minding its own business, just slowly floating along, and now things are going very, very badly wrong. Something's definitely unusual with this in that it's managing to not tear itself to pieces. There's a lot unusual with this. It pings off the wall, it's gonna freak around and spin and do some flippy twisty stuff, and now we're doing proper then come back to being a helicopter again. It's very strange. Even attempts to tether it to the floor in trying to figure out what on earth the damn thing is going to do, but that resists the attempts to being tethered as well. It's resilient to try, or determined to try and stay up. A few boops on the tethers and gets it down on the ground, and that then upsets it in a strange way. The engine kind of blows up on it. It's not as spectacular as some Just Cause stuff I've seen, but it's really weird. Speaking of weird, we have Weirdguy up next on the crew too, that noticed something odd with the power boats and will appear. It turns out that if you try to nudge the power boat, if you try to do like a sensible bit of parking, and you nudge the power boat under the pier at the right time as the water level changes, well, the boat might freak out and try and do a front flip and just fling itself across the dock. That's definitely how boat physics work. It doesn't do it on all of them, just that particular one is the one to launch said powerboat across the map. The Thebeardguy up next on Richard Burns' rally carries a little bit too much speed. And how many times have we seen this in rally games? A little bit too much speed followed by a tremendous tumble down a hill for, I think it's an Ascona maybe? An Opel rally car. It's a big off. It's not what we want. Yeah, it is literally just the tiniest little mistake. Turns in a bit too soon, clips the banking with a lot of speed, and goes for a humongous roll off the edge of the cliff. Actually, it's not turning too soon. It's runs a little bit wide, having carried too much speed. And yeah, huge roll. Now, we see many times on games like Dirt Rally or Dirt 4 where we have cars that roll, land on their wheels, and can carry on no problem at all. Well, this is not one of those instances right here. Nope. Subaru clipped a banking, rolled and slid into some trees before coming to a halt. Austin Powers between some trees. Well done. Well done indeed. That being said though, Shiny Cookie on Dirt 2 would have a little bit more luck with the whole rolling and carry on. This with, I can't remember what the class is, one of the big off-road trucks, runs wide, clips the big dirt bank. It's a huge roll for the truck, and over it goes. Now, that on dirt games is fairly usual, but on Beam, that is somewhat less common, well, mostly because the cars take a lot of damage. This time though, too much speed coming up, too much speed mispositioned on the toll booth leads to a clip and a flip for the Legrand that lands back on its wheels with barely any damage. It's a little buckled, sure, but considering how that normally ends on Beam, I would say that has gone very well indeed. Cheap Bricks up next on Need for Speed Pro Street is racing one of these super high speed races, and now mistakes here normally end in absolute disaster, and it would for the AI car. Up ahead, the back end of the Golf bouncing around, pings off the roof of the player's car. They're so lucky, because yeah, I mean, these things, you have huge crashes on these speed stages. It was good fun, but yeah, the AI Volkswagen just goes over this crest, the back end starts bouncing around, they can't gather it back up, and yeah, it's in the air in front of the player car, who's not got any chance to do anything there, just scoops it out of the way. We have Alkring Ninja up next on Wreckfest, who is leading the way, leading the race on the final lap, coming around the last couple of corners. And this should be a lesson to everybody into look where you're going. We've all done this. You're looking behind, check where the AI cars are, check where your competitors are, not looking where you're going. You want to make sure your car is straightened up for the finish line before you do such a thing. Ouch. Yeah, that's not what you want. Not what you want at all. And finally, Ohana on Wreckfest. Now, this was during the special snow events. AI race going into turn 1. It's busy, it's crowded, and a bit of bumping, a bit of pushing around, and sure enough, the AI vehicle we're following here, the Vendetta, I can't remember. No, is that the name of the Corvette copy on Beam? I can never remember the name of it. Whatever it is, has decided to go for a spin. Now, the initial spin, sure, fair enough, but the AI doesn't know how to recover the car. Venom, I think, is it what it's called on this game? Maybe. Begins with a V. Regardless, we're just going to go round and spinny around in circles. It almost gets go. Now we're going to spin the other way. We haven't done enough. We've done donuts one direction. Let's do some donuts the other way, and some more spinning, and some more kind of kicking up of snow. Still doing donuts. It is good at donuts. I will give the AI that. We're going for a reverse now. I was expecting to try and reverse around the lap. Now we're almost going to beach it on a rock. That would have been a funny end as well for the AI car. And no, that's still too much throttle. There's somewhere in between full throttle and no throttle to make this work. A little bit of reversing going on. And look at that! The AI, finally, it took it a while. It took the AI a little while to figure it out, and quite a few spin-ins before it got going again, and almost lost a lap. However, it has figured that one out, and surely that would be the end of it. Surely there couldn't possibly be any more problems with said, oh no, we're going back to the spinning technique again. Yes. Now, the AI are not the best when it comes to the snow. That was for sure. But this is a whole new level of, I'm afraid, incompetence. We're going back to spinning around in a circle again, aren't we? It does get straightened up, and it gets helped by other cars turning up. It's rare that happens. But yeah, now we're a lap down, having done an awful lot of donuts. It wins the donut competition, but that is about it. It gets piled into the wall. Doesn't spin from that one, surprisingly, as other stuff spins. AI's doing shenanigans is always very, very good fun. That, though, is going to be it for this video. If you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via a Google form. There'll be a link to it in the description, and all the rules and how it works can be found on there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.